This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and I have the pleasure of meeting Jon and Rose Skelton. What is it? Skelton Pearson. So sorry. Yes. Now, quite an unusual couple that I met in a holistic fair, and in fact, they've just been on the radio as my guests. So, where to start? Well, tell me very briefly how you met. Yes, we'll start there, I think. Who's going first?
I'll let you start this time.
Okay, well,
I did it on the radio show.
We met in 2013 for the first time at a friend's birthday party and fell in love at first sight, I would say.
At first bite?
At first bite, because we were in the...
But you didn't bite until years later.
Absolutely not. So we met at the party. I was disappointed he didn't ask for my number, and we didn't actually meet again until 3 years later.
And you didn't think to ask for his number?
No, I didn't. Thank you for reminding me.
You got it now, though, haven't you?
Exactly. I've got your number now.
Yeah, she's got my number now.
But then 3 years later, the same friend very conveniently had another birthday and another celebration, and we re-met there. But we re-met and we then didn't
because the timing wasn't right.
The timing was not right, sadly, until 6 months later, after 2 meetings, when I had been to a workshop, so we'd had very little contact. And at this workshop, I had a realisation that I was going to get married to Jon, but he didn't know it. Because
what sort of workshop was that?
This was a Tantra workshop.
We'll come on to Tantra later.
Absolutely. So he didn't know it. I'd only met him twice in the space of 3.5 years.
Did a little voice in your mind say, that's the one?
Very clearly. So I told my friend on my way home, and she was a little surprised because I'd never spoken about him before. But he said that was very good. And then that evening he actually Skyped me, because we live 300 miles separately. He Skyped me, so we'd had little contact in the 6 months since we'd met the last time, and he proposed marriage to me, and I accepted.
What, on Skype?
Yep.
But had you actually got together?
No, I mean, this is the thing, you know, if I tell my psychotherapy clients, okay, I mean, I've earned a crust for many years as a psychotherapist, and I tell my psychotherapy clients words to the effect of, you don't just fall in love like that, you know, there's something a bit, you know, scripty about the whole thing, and, you know, beware, be careful, you've got to be friends with somebody for a year first, you know, do it the mature way. And if I'd gone, if I could go back in a time machine now and talk to myself 10 years ago, when I, at the tender age of 50, I would be saying, like, you're going to meet this woman, you're going to fall in love with her, and after 2 meetings, you're going to propose to her on Skype. I would have said, like, you are
out of your mind.
You are Fruit Loops and batshit, you know. Like, there's no way on God's earth that would ever happen. And it did. You know, it simply did. We simply fell in love, and it was marrying Rose, best thing I've ever done in my life. And after 2.5 years of being together, we're still, I think,
you haven't had a single
love now as we ever were.
You haven't had a single argument?
Oh, we've had a lot of arguments.
Oh God, yes. But that's, I mean, we'll come on to that when we talk about Tantra.
But that's not the point.
You
It
know.
doesn't actually make a difference to the end result.
No, it doesn't.
So, Rose, tell me briefly a little something of your past life. I mean, you said it sounded like a conventional 9 to 5 until you went to the island of Skyros. But you were married and with children. Tell me a bit about that.
So I was married. I had 2 at the time, quite small children.
Who did you marry?
I married somebody that I met soon after university.
Have you remained in touch?
Not really, no. But he's still the father of my children.
Yes.
Yes. So we had I would say pretty normal life together. I was a teacher. He worked as a financial consultant.
Right.
Then I stayed at home for a while and looked after the children. So we divorced after probably about 10 years. The children were still smallish.
And how was that, being alone?
Actually, I really enjoyed it.
It was a relief.
Frankly, it was.
Yes.
It gave me a chance to find out who I was.
Right.
And that was something I hadn't had space for in all the while.
Right.
You know.
So how old were you when you married then, in that case?
I was 28.
Okay. Oh, well.
So I wasn't, I was young. I wasn't super young.
No.
But anyway, so then things conspired that the children were away maybe they were with their dad for 2 weeks going on holiday.
Right.
And I had some money. Where can I go on holiday by myself? I'd never been on holiday by myself in my whole life.
Right.
Like, my goodness, what a thing to even think about doing. And
how did you hear about Skiros?
well, I heard about Skiros because at the time I had just ventured into the world of internet dating. And I had met a man who was very nice. We didn't date after that. It wasn't going anywhere, but he was a very nice man. And he was telling me all about this marvellous holiday he'd had in Skiros and how transformational and amazing it had been.
Right.
And I didn't want to see him again, but I came home and thought, I have to find out what Skiros is.
Get yourself a brochure.
And that's exactly what I did. So it was pretty terrifying, going somewhere by myself for the very first time. It sounds funny to say
Not
that
an easy
now.
journey to get there.
Well, actually it was at the time.
Oh,
Because normally it's a very complicated
yes.
journey to get
You have
there.
to fly to Athens and then take a boat or perhaps a plane.
Well, but in this instance, the Olympics were being held in Greece and they didn't want people to fly through Athens, so they actually had direct flights to Skiros. I think probably
kidding.
the only time in Skiros history.
Ah, I see. Oh, that was very easy then.
So it made it very, very easy, absolutely.
I see, okay.
But anyway, I went on this holiday, so it was 2 weeks in this marvellous community, lots of workshops in different things. And it was...
Which was your favourite workshop, or the workshop that influenced you the most, or liberated you perhaps?
It was actually, bizarrely, it was an improvised comedy workshop. I was completely rubbish at it, and it is not something that I will be pursuing as another career.
Right.
But it was the fact that you didn't know what was going to happen next. And basically it was like, like you're walking around with big sunglasses on and you can't see, you see what you think is the world, and then suddenly you take the sunglasses off and like, oh my goodness, this is what the world really looks like.
So spontaneity, in other words.
Absolutely. And just being around people to whom that was quite normal.
Yeah.
Whereas it hadn't been normal for me.
Right.
So
you were in the now.
I was in the now, probably for the first time ever. Well, since I was a small child, anyway.
And that's what you liked. So you stayed in the now.
I've tried to.
And what was your next move when you came back from Skiros, having been reborn, you might say?
I didn't do anything for a very long time. Well, not a very long time.
You didn't enroll in any classes, or?
Well, I started going to the Buddhist centre, so I started meditating.
Right.
I did that for a couple of years.
Right.
And then the children would have gone away on another holiday with their dad, and I went to another self-development holiday. I went to a place called Cotilla Romero in Spain.
Yes, I've been there, yes.
And
whose class did you do?
I can't remember the name of the teacher, but basically the reason I went to the thing that I went to was because that was the week I didn't have my children. So whatever they were offering was what I did. And what it was expressive dance, which I'd never danced in my life before.
Okay. So how many years ago was that?
Well, that was in 2006. So yeah, what was that?
2006, yes. The year my husband left. Very pivotal year. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, pivotal year for both of us. But...
Interesting.
And then I discovered I loved expressive dance and ecstatic dance.
You mean 5 rhythms and biodance, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. So I came home, I got into 5 rhythms. I had another chance meeting with somebody who told me about biodanza. I'd never heard of that before.
Right.
Went to a festival of that. That was
in England?
In England at Osho Leela.
Right.
Completely transformative. And I actually found I liked that so much I went on to become a teacher of something called heart in motion dance, which is a kind of ecstatic therapeutic dance.
Right, there's lots of that in Mallorca, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, oh yes, I became friendly with a biodance who trained with the originator.
Okay.
I've forgotten his name now.
Rolando del Toro.
That's the one. Yeah, she trained with him. Okay, well, we'll continue in part 2. Thank you very much.